Do you guys have anything else you want to bring up or talk about?
No, I don't think so.
All
I think
right.
that was that I had that I wanted to bring up. I would like to thank you guys for not spoiling everything forever.
Well, it was a little hard at some points to find workaround words, but you know, we don't want to ruin your fun. You still got to catch up.
I do. I will eventually. I just
What's the last one you watched? Do you remember?
oh god. It's gonna be embarrassing. It was like I think that the last one that I watched may have been the one where Fluttershy was singing for Big Mac.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, with the pony tones.
Yeah, the Ponytowns. Was that before or after Rarity Takes Manhattan?
That was after.
Okay,
Ponytones was 14, if I remember right. Rarity Takes Manhattan was 8.
okay. It was so long ago that I can't even remember the order.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
It's okay. I don't
It,
remember the order at all.
I mean, in my mind, if you, like, I don't know how you feel, whether it's like, oh, I just want to see the ones that are pertinent to the story and whatever, or if you want to see all of them.
I mostly just want to see the ones with Rarity. Like, let's not kid ourselves. That's mostly why I'm here.
I mean, the
Because
ones you definitely need to watch are For Whom the Sweetie Belle Tolls, which I think is 19. Um, Inspiration Manifestation, which is 23.
that sounds like a Rarity episode.
It's a Rarity and Spike episode.
God, don't say
You
that.
no. You and I will. I'm sure you're thinking this now, and I certainly thought it before it aired. I thought it was going to be terrible. It's actually probably one of my favorite episodes of the season.
It was pretty good, and then
Really not what I was expecting.
no, and then
Okay.
what was
I'm gonna have to trust you on this, and I swear to God, if you betray me, I will do
No,
terrible.
Okay,
you'll
you
enjoy it.
and your pets.
the other one?
It's
Oh,
it's Rarity's Lesson Zero episode essentially.
Okay.
and then the
Oh,
other
okay.
the other one you have to see is the one that ends off the Equestria games. I can't remember what it was called, but
It was called Equestria
Okay.
Games.
The creatively titled.
but this,
I honestly don't think that episode is really important because it really wasn't very good.
Well, but it,
I mean, I guess you need to see it just because it ends the Equestria Games, but it's a Spike episode. I mean, yeah.
but it was also a half decent Spike episode.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah,
If that's,
half decent Spike is like eighth decent anybody else.
half decent Spike is like watching an Applejack episode. You know what I mean? Ha! I bet everyone was really confused when I didn't say Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. Of the ones since the one you've last watched that I really enjoyed and think are worth watching, um, Some Pony to Watch Over Me is actually pretty good. For Whom the Sweetie Belle Tolls, Testing 1 2 3, Inspiration Manifestation,
Is testing
maybe
1 2 3 the one with the Beastie Boys?
No,
no, Testing 1 2 3 is a
Rainbow Dash episode.
well, yeah, I mean it.
And it
It's-
doesn't have any sort of rappers. Is what you're telling me.
It has Pinkie Pie rapping.
All right. Well,
That was the one with Pinkie Pie rapping, wasn't it?
that's
Yeah.
kind of like having the Wu-Tang Clan. Is how I feel.
It was
Those
a
two things
take
are
on
pretty much equivalent to me.
it was a take on like '90s rap.
Yeah,
Oh,
Pinkie's scene
yeah.
is like
That
Flava
sounds
Flav,
pretty great.
Fresh Prince.
Wait, is Pinky someone's hype man? Like, is that?
Just honestly, just go watch that episode. It's actually a pretty good episode in general, and that scene with
Okay.
Pinkie is pretty funny.
I'm gonna
But
I'm gonna have my first couple of weeks where I don't have to travel in like the last, I feel like 4 months, so I might be able to start getting caught up soon.
Nice. But yeah, that Inspiration Manifestation and the finale are yeah.
Good to know.
Some people will probably be shouting as they listen to this and be like, You should have told him to watch the ones where Fluttershy and Applejack get their keys, because that's important. But they're
If
both
they're,
pretty,
if they're what? Oh, the keys. Oh,
yeah.
right.
But they're both pretty bad episodes, in my opinion. So
Yeah, I almost forgot how Applejack.
Fluttershy's especially.
I did not like that Fluttershy episode.
I didn't either. That's probably my
Okay,
least favorite
so
season, actually.
was at the beginning, was Fluttershy like really timid and quiet, and then someone was like, "You need to be more assertive," and then she overdoes it, and then she has
No.
to dial it back for.
No,
her
it's
friend.
the episode with the Breezies. If you remember hearing about the Breezies at all,
Mhm.
um,
I
and
heard
the
that
lesson
kind of like Paris Sprites, right?
a little bit. The lesson she learns is actually pretty valid and useful for her as a character, but the episode I just thought was really boring. And
That's unfortunate.
Applejack's is the same way, although that doesn't come as a surprise because most Applejack episodes are pretty boring because her character has nothing to expand on.
Well,
Her character is just so like complete. Like she has her job that we assume is going to be her job for the rest of her life. She's sort of like the day-to-day leader of the family. Like Granny Smith is the matriarch, but sometimes she's also completely insane, and so they need like a normal person, Pony, to be
Yeah.
leading them, which is Applejack. So she's already like the day-to-day matriarch. She's already got the farm. It's a gigantic farm. She's not going to be like, slowly buying more land for this farm. I don't know. I don't know what more there is to do with her. Like, besides like breaking her character just to remake it honest again or something.
That's
but then you have like a replica of Fluttershy. It's pretty much the same thing. It's always Fluttershy is timid or too nice, and then it's like you gotta be more assertive, or you gotta not be you. And then by the end, it's always brought back down so you can start at square one, like a sitcom. That way you always have something to do, because you can't fix that one flaw and then keep going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of all the ponies, they're definitely the two that I think struggle the most to have episodes.
I don't know.
I don't repetitive.
Yeah, I think the repetitiveness is the problem. I don't think that they have the hardest time as characters, like expressing themselves. I think the problem is just that there's not a whole lot to.
Yeah, no, they're both very good characters, and they both work very well in a lot of episodes. But I think when the focus is on them, it tends to get difficult. Yeah,
it's like Pinkie Pie before season 3, before she became insufferable everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, the characters that have the most writing potential are Twilight, obviously, because the show in the end is essentially about Twilight.
Right.
Rainbow Dash, because as much as we hate on Rainbow Dash,
where is she going? Is she going to become a Wonderbolt? She's already better than they are. Like,
yeah, that's the whole thing. And I mean, I hope that what it eventually comes down to is that she's offered to join them and basically is like, no, I don't want to because you guys' morals are terrible.
Kind of crummy.
Well, it was something that was already kind of addressed.
Yeah, it was sort of addressed, but like it needs to be like spearheaded because that's like her dream in life. And in testing 1, 2, 3, she's like working towards that.
Even after
even after
where,
like Rainbow Falls.
Yeah.
Where she basically learns that they don't care about their team,
anything but themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just the people there. That's not the over arc of
it. Yeah, but think about who it is that are the people that are there. It's Spitfire, like her idol. It would be like if you grew up watching Michael Jordan play basketball, and then you were you weren't trying out. You were like going to be, you were like trying out for the Olympic basketball team for the United States. And Michael Jordan was there, and he was just an asshole. And it shattered everything that you thought you knew about this person who was your hero, who was the reason why you were trying so hard to be so good because you wanted to emulate this person.
Yeah, but then that just gives you reason to surpass your hero and become better. Be like, no, I saw you as this, and you should emulate this. And if you're not going to, I will.
I don't think that like a teenager would be that mature about that sort of thing.
But I think Rainbow Dash would.
I don't think she would.
She has that arrogance about her, where it's always, I gotta be number one, and even though it's my hero.
Well, I feel like her arrogance is also covering a lot of like, sort of, issues itself. Like she's really worried about what other people think.
Yeah, I could agree with that. That's definitely a big fanon interpretation that I've seen a lot, and generally a pretty good one in my mind. I do think though that honestly I could see her being in that position of standing up and being kind of like, no, I'm gonna do it, because that's sort of what she did in the season.
Yeah, it's like every other episode that, aside from in season 1, when she's been involved with the Wonderbolts, it's kind of been that. It's like, what you're doing is wrong. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to surpass you morally.
No, 100%. That is always what it's been about. And at the same time, it seems like she still desperately wants to join the Wonderbolts, which is what's so confusing to me.
Yeah, but it's... See,
I guess
you brought up...
Yeah, go ahead.
So you brought it up as doing a basketball team with Michael Jordan. I see it as more of what it is, a replicate, like a parallel of the Blue Angels or some other high-end flying squad. Just because the leader of the flying squad is a jerk doesn't mean the entire idea of the flying squad is horrible.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was just going to say. I think the way that I could see her doing it would be if she essentially became Spitfire. Like, she got Spitfire's position as the leader. Yeah, because...
And, like, everyone else was like, oh, man, thank goodness Spitfire's gone. She was so awful. Like, remember how we keep ruining that character?
Yeah. I could totally see it as, like... You know, if we use that same sort of basketball scenario, instead of kind of going and realizing, like, Michael Jordan was bad, you go and you realize, like, that the NBA is bad. And then... Which you could argue that it is.
I'm going to start my own basketball association with blackjack.
Yeah, like that's sort of how I would best see it going down, is Rainbow Dash being like, you know, the Wonderbolts, I think I can do a lot better running the Wonderbolts, and then, like, I don't know, ideally have her then be involved with, like, Twilight, because obviously Rainbow Dash would know nothing about managing much of anything.
You'd have to read books.
And later on we find out that doesn't really work.
What doesn't really work?
Just reading books and learning.
That was testing.
That was
testing 1, 2, 3. That's what we realized. That only works for Twilight.
Oh gosh.